My own country, Iceland, comes to mind because we are quite small, a small country, but quite proud as well. I think Iceland shows that small countries can be very successful and can even use the fact that they are small to their advantage. What I mean by that is small countries can be quicker to adapt to changing circumstances, they are more flexible and can move faster to take advantage of new opportunities. It's also helpful in tackling crises or difficult issues like we went through with our economic crisis, where the fact that we were such a small country meant that we were able to adapt to a new reality. We also were able to use the fact that we are a small country to produce new value for the population. Being a small country, like being a small company, certainly has its advantages. We have our own currency, which meant that we could increase exports quite fast when we needed it. So now we have constantly growing numbers of tourists, but also other export industries are doing very well, in part because the currency adapted to a new situation. Secondly, we have control over our own laws. So we were able to set in place measures to tackle the economic crisis in a way which countries in the European Union, such as Ireland, Portugal, Greece, could not. In so doing, we preserved the integrity of the actual economy, even though such a big part of the finance system collapsed. And thirdly, we have control over our natural resources, which proved very helpful because nature was rather kind to us in the years after the crisis. So fisheries did very well, as did other resource-based industries. And all this helped to turn around a very difficult situation in a limited amount of time, just a few years. So this, having control over your own destiny and being adaptable was the reason we got out of the crisis. We are certainly facing all sorts of challenges, and I was discussing many of those earlier today, and they have to do with developments in the Arctic, where we're seeing huge changes as a result of climate change, but also as a result of renewed interests in the area. So all of a sudden, all the big powers have become very interested in developments in the Arctic, which means we have to address new challenges, such as building up infrastructure in the Arctic, which is very lacking. Environmental concerns is an obvious issue, where the melting of the polar ice and other effects of climate change mean that we have to adapt, but we also try our best to limit those effects. Around 100%, well, close to 100% of our energy production, our domestic energy production, is from renewable energy sources. And in addition to that, there are questions concerning security issues, economic issues, the situation for the inhabitants of some of the remote parts of the Arctic. We in Iceland have been very supportive of the plight of the indigenous peoples in our neighboring countries to have a say in how things develop. So all in all, there are a lot of new challenges, but also a lot of opportunities around Iceland these days.